Silence is not weakness, it is power. When you stop reacting and start observing, you gain control. In every heated moment, in every argument, the one who holds silence holds strength, because silence is not empty, it is full of answers. It teaches patience, it creates space for clarity, it disarms negativity, and shifts the energy in your favor. The person who stays calm is the one who wins every single time. So the next time you are tempted to shout or defend yourself, choose silence. Let your actions and your presence speak louder than any words ever could. Silence is often mistaken for weakness because people assume that if you are not speaking, you are not strong or confident, but the truth is the opposite. Silence is actually one of the most powerful tools you can use in your life. It is not about shutting down or avoiding conflict. It is about mastering yourself and understanding that your strength does not need to be proven with words. Think about moments when people around you lose control. They raise their voices, they try to dominate the situation, they let emotions run their actions in that noise. It is easy to get lost, easy to react, and easy to regret, but the person who stays quiet has already won because they are not being controlled by the chaos. They are in control of themselves, and that is the highest form of strength. Silence gives you the ability to observe more deeply. When you are not busy talking, you notice things that others miss. You see the expressions, the tone, the hidden intentions. You become sharper, more aware, and more grounded in reality. People often underestimate the one who stays silent, but that is what makes silence so powerful. It is unexpected, and it shifts the balance in your favor. The louder others get, the stronger your calmness becomes. It is like standing in the middle of a storm, but not letting the wind move you. That stillness is strength. That silence is unshakable confidence. When you choose silence, you are not avoiding confrontation. You are choosing strategy. You are giving yourself time to think. You are protecting your energy, and you are sending a message that your value does not need to be proven with words. This is why silence often intimidates people, because they cannot control someone who does not react. They cannot pull you into their chaos, and that makes them lose their power. You do not need to shout to be heard. You do not need to argue to be right. Your silence already shows you have nothing to prove. Strength is not in the volume of your voice, it is in the depth of your presence. Silence builds respect, it creates authority, and it teaches discipline. The person who can stay silent in the face of provocation is the one who truly understands what real power looks like. That is why silence is never weakness, it is always strength in its purest form. Choosing silence gives you control over your reactions, and this is one of the most important skills you can ever develop in life. Every single day, you face situations where people try to provoke you, test your patience, or push you into reacting without thinking. The natural instinct for most people is to respond immediately, to defend themselves, to argue, or to fight back. But that kind of reaction often leads to regret, because when emotions control your words, you lose your power. Silence changes everything. It puts you back in charge of yourself, and it allows you to respond from a place of strength instead of weakness. When you choose silence, you are not ignoring the situation, you are mastering it. You are saying to yourself, I am not going to give this moment the power to control me. This does not mean you never speak. It means you do not let your first reaction become your final action. Silence creates a pause, and in that pause lies your control. That small space of silence allows your mind to clear, your emotions to settle, and your thoughts to align. Instead of saying something you cannot take back, instead of making a decision you will regret, you give yourself room to act with purpose. People who cannot control their reactions are easy to manipulate. If someone knows that raising their voice or pushing your buttons will make you explode, they already own you. But when you remain silent, they lose that power over you. They cannot predict you, they cannot control you, and they cannot drag you into their chaos. That is what makes silence such a powerful form of control. You are no longer playing their game, you are setting your own rules, and that shifts the entire balance of power. Control is not about dominating others, it is about dominating yourself. Silence is the path to that control. It teaches you that you do not have to answer every insult, you do not have to respond to every provocation, and you do not have to waste your energy on every fight. By choosing silence, you are not giving up, you are choosing wisely, you are conserving your strength for the moments that truly matter, you are protecting your peace, and that is the highest form of control. Anyone can react instantly, but only the strong can choose silence, and in doing so they always remain in Charged silence creates space for clarity and patience, and this is one of the greatest advantages you can give yourself in any situation. Life moves fast, and people often feel pressured to respond immediately to every question, every argument, and every challenge. But when you slow down and allow silence to fill the space, you create an environment where clear thinking can happen. Silence gives your mind the pause it needs to process the situation. Instead of reacting impulsively, that pause is not empty. It is filled with awareness and wisdom, and it allows you to make better decisions. When you remain silent, you are not rushing to defend yourself or prove a point. Instead, you are stepping back and allowing the truth to rise on its own. Think about moments of tension, whether in a heated argument or a stressful decision. Most people jump in with words fueled by emotion and later regret what they said. Silence removes that regret because it creates a natural distance between the moment and your response. In that distance, you gain perspective, and perspective is where clarity lives. Patience is also built through silence. It teaches you to sit with discomfort instead of trying to escape it. Immediately, it teaches you that not everything needs an instant answer, and not every problem must be solved right away. By being silent, you are practicing patience, and patience always leads to stronger outcomes. You begin to understand that sometimes the best move is to wait, sometimes the smartest strategy is to observe, and sometimes the greatest wisdom is revealed not in what you say, but in what you choose not to say. Clarity comes when emotions settle, and silence gives them the chance to do so. Words spoken in anger or fear cloud judgment, but silence clears the fog. It allows you to hear your own thoughts more clearly, and even to sense the truth in the words and actions of others. Silence sharpens your intuition because you are listening more and talking less. The answers you are looking for often come when you stop filling the air with unnecessary noise. In the end, silence is the space where clarity and patience grow. It is the foundation for wise decisions, calm responses, and strong relationships. Choosing silence is not about avoiding life. It is about giving yourself the clearest path forward and the patience to walk it with confidence. Silence disarms negativity and changes energy in your favor because it takes away the fuel that conflict thrives on. Most negativity survives on reaction. When someone throws anger, insults, or criticism at you, they are expecting a response. They want you to argue, you defend, or lose your temper. That reaction is what feeds the fire. But when you respond with silence, you take away the energy they are looking for. Without your reaction, their negativity has nowhere to go. It falls flat and loses its power. Silence becomes the shield that protects your peace and the sword that shifts the balance of the situation. Think about arguments you have seen. The louder one person gets, the more they expect the other to fight back. But when that second person chooses silence, the dynamic changes. Suddenly, the aggressor looks smaller, weaker, and less in control. Negativity feeds on noise, but silence starves it. It forces the other person to face themselves instead of distracting them with your reaction. Silence does not mean you agree with them. It means you are stronger than their attempts to pull you into chaos. The power of silence in the face of negativity is also psychological. It unsettles the person who is trying to provoke you. They cannot read you, they cannot predict you, and they cannot control you. That uncertainty shifts the energy in your favor instead of you being on the defense. If they are now questioning themselves, wondering why you are not reacting, that is the hidden strength of silence. It turns the tables without you having to do anything. On a deeper level, silence also protects your emotional energy. Every time you react to negativity, you hand over a piece of your peace. But when you stay quiet, you keep your strength within yourself. You are not wasting energy on meaningless fights. You are not allowing someone else to dictate how you feel. You are taking control of your inner state, and in doing so, you change the energy of the entire situation. Negativity cannot survive when it is not fed. Silence takes away its oxygen and allows calmness to take over. This calmness becomes your advantage, and it draws respect even from those who do not like you. Choosing silence is not surrendering. It is standing firm without letting anger or hate dictate your moves. That shift in energy is why silence always wins. Calmness in silence leads to lasting influence and victory because people are naturally drawn to those who can stay steady When everything around them is falling apart in moments of chaos, most people panic or react without thinking, and that reaction often makes situations worse, but the person who stays calm and silent stands out immediately. They become a figure of stability, someone others look to for guidance and reassurance. Silence is powerful not just because it stops conflict, but because it creates an atmosphere of control and composure that people respect. When you remain calm and silent in difficult moments, you are showing that you trust yourself. You are not allowing fear, anger, or stress to dictate your behavior, and that confidence is contagious. Others feel it too. When everyone else is losing control, your calmness becomes the anchor that steadies the situation. This is why leaders who practice silence often gain more influence than those who constantly speak. They understand that real power is not in how much noise you make, but in how much control you keep. Victory does not always come from proving you are right or defeating someone in an argument. True victory is lasting influence. It is leaving an impression that cannot be erased. It is winning respect without demanding it. Silence helps you achieve that because people remember the person who did not lose their temper. They remember the one who stayed calm under pressure. That memory builds trust, and trust is the foundation of real influence. Another reason silence leads to victory is because it allows space for truth to reveal itself. Arguments often collapse on their own when one side chooses not to engage. Anger eventually burns out, but calmness lasts longer. By saying nothing, you allow the other person to expose their weakness while you hold on to your strength. The calm and silent person is not controlled by the moment. They control the moment. In the long run, calmness built through silence creates stronger relationships, better decisions, and deeper respect. It wins battles that words never could because it goes beyond temporary satisfaction and builds something permanent. When you master silence, you master influence. And when you master influence, you create victories that last far beyond the moment. Actions and presence speak louder than words, and this is one of the most powerful truths about human behavior. People often believe that they need to talk more to prove themselves, explain themselves, or convince others of their worth, but the reality is that words fade while actions remain. Silence paired with strong actions creates an impact that no argument can achieve. When you do not waste your energy trying to explain or defend yourself, and instead let your results speak for you, people notice, and they remember. Presence is another form of silent communication. The way you carry yourself, the calmness you hold in difficult situations, and the confidence you project without saying a word can influence others far more than anything you could ever say. Presence tells people whether they should respect you or ignore you. It sends a message that you know your value and that you do not need to prove it constantly through words. This kind of quiet confidence often earns more respect than the loudest voice in the room. Actions also reveal truth over time. Anyone can say what they believe or promise what they will do, but actions are proof that cannot be denied. If you remain consistent, if you keep showing up, if you deliver results, your silence becomes powerful because people can see your strength without you having to describe it. Words can be doubted. Actions cannot. Silence combined with consistent action builds credibility that no amount of talking could ever replace. This principle also applies when dealing with conflict or negativity. Instead of arguing back or trying to convince someone that you are right, simply continue doing what you do best. Let your actions demonstrate your strength, and let your presence communicate your self-control. Over time, this not only silences doubt, but also wins respect, even from those who once criticized you. Ultimately, actions and presence leave lasting impressions. While words are temporary, anyone can speak, but not everyone can follow through. Anyone can talk loudly, but not everyone can stand firmly in silence with confidence. The person who chooses to let actions and presence do the talking shows strength, wisdom, and discipline. That is why in the long run, words may be forgotten, but actions remembered and presence respected will always carry the truth. Victory now is the time to step into your own strength. Choose silence when chaos calls. Choose calm when emotions rise. Choose presence when words are not enough. Let your actions prove your worth, and let your discipline guide your path. Every moment you hold silence, you hold power. Every choice to Remain in control builds the life you deserve. Do not waste energy on battles that do not matter. Instead, stand firm, protect your peace, and win through clarity, patience, and action. Start today. Be the person whose silence speaks louder than noise and whose presence commands respect.